Have you ever noticed an elephant outside a temple or anywhere else? If you haven't, then take a chance to see them, because you can see that these elephants are not tied by really strong chains, instead a very small rope. If the elephant chooses to kick its leg, it can easily break the rope and escape. But the elephant won't do that. Why? Because when the elephants were smaller, they would use a really strong rope to hold them. When the elephant tries to escape, it fails. It repeatedly tries to escape, but it couldn't. Now the elephant believes that if there's a rope tied to its legs, it cannot escape. No matter what it does, it cannot set itself free. As the elephant grows, it continues to believe that if there's a rope tied, it cannot escape. But the interesting part is, as the elephant gets older, it becomes stronger and it has the option to set itself free, but it won't even try, because it was conditioned to believe that if there is a rope tied to its legs, it means that it cannot escape. This is a perfect example for learned helplessness. Learned helplessness means you're subjected to a situation multiple times, and every single time you tried to get out of it, but you couldn't. No matter what you do, you just couldn't make the situation any better. And you repeatedly go through this multiple times, and you start believing that no matter what you do, you cannot get out of this situation. This leads to a behavior called learned helplessness, which when the same situation arises again, and this time you have the option to make it better, but you won't even try. You simply believe from your past experiences that no matter what you do, you cannot get out of it. No matter what you do, you cannot make it any better, so you don't even try. This term, learned helplessness, was coined by Dr. Martin Seligman in 1965 when he was experimenting with dogs. His actual experiment was to condition the dogs to associate a bell sound with electric shocks. So every time he rang a bell and then gave mild shocks to the dogs, the dogs started associating this bell sound with the electric shocks. After repeating this multiple times, the dogs started to jump when they hear the bell sound, even if electric shocks were not given. So this conditioning was the actual experiment that Dr. Martin was trying to do. But then something interesting happened. He put the same dogs in a crate with a fence dividing the crate. One side of it was wired and one side is not wired. So he kept the dogs in the wired side and he rang a bell and gave electric shocks. What he thought was, now if he gives electric shocks, the dogs would jump to the other side of the crate where it is not wired. But to his surprise, the dogs did not try to jump to the other side. They simply took the shock. That's when he found that the dogs were not only conditioned to associate the bell sound with electric shocks, but were also conditioned to believe that there's no matter what they do, they cannot escape these electric shocks. That's when he came up with the term learned helplessness. Now this can be a real problem, because you have an option to make your situation better or to solve your problem, but you won't even try it because from your past experiences you think that there's nothing you can do to make it better. You simply accept that this is how it is, there's nothing you can do, and that you're helpless. Now that is learned helplessness, and if at all we have this behavior, what can we do to unlearn them? We'll see them in another video. I hope this video was informative. Thank you so much for watching.